Welcome back and congratulations on stepping it up here to week 2. We're on day 1. Getting right into our warm-up today. Let's give our core a little squeeze here, and we're gonna start with a small jog. All right, just to get the blood flowing here as you jog it out, finding awareness in your posture and making sure we're not rounding our shoulders. So let's set those shoulders back and down, thinking about zipping them down the spine. Let's keep moving those feet. Again, making sure that core is turned on. We're gonna maintain that and do 20 jumping jacks. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, we're gonna start off with a little bit more footwork today. Again, just like in week 1, the goal is to maintain tension through the core, the glutes especially, and all throughout your legs. What we're doing today is kind of a combination of what we did last week. Okay, we're gonna do a little triangle step. So I'm just gonna set this down. You don't need to, but if it helps you to have visual, you can put a band on the floor. We're gonna do 30 seconds on each side, okay? Little triangle step. So I'm stepping one foot out to the side and then forward, okay? One leg staying stationary, and I'm just alternating between a forward and a side step. And as you can see, okay, this kind of makes a triangle shape with my feet. All right, ready, 30 seconds, go. All right, keeping that rhythm and just stepping that one foot, triangle, out to the side and in front. Good, maintaining that tight core. Keep everything on here, full tension through the glutes. Good. All right, same thing. Other leg is staying stationary, and then other leg is gonna step forward, to the top of the triangle and out to the side. Ready, set, go. Good, keeping that tension. Okay, feeling the balls of your feet against the floor, thinking equal weight distribution across your foot. Hard push to shift directions. Keep going. Almost there, squeezing the bum, keeping the core tight. Good, all right, that's time. We're gonna move on here to another new warm-up drill. You've already done this movement last week in your conditioning, okay? So we're gonna do a little dip, small reverse lunge. You don't need to come all the way to the floor, just do a small dip down, and then we're gonna think about driving that knee up. Of course, stabilizing through that stationary leg by giving your glute a big squeeze. So I'm gonna dip, squeeze as I drive the knee up. Let's do 20 seconds each leg, go. Small dip and squeeze. Again, keeping those shoulders lined up over your hips. Equal weight distribution across that standing foot. All right, so pressing the inside edge and outside edge of that foot equally into the floor. And that is time. Let's switch sides. Go. Same thing, small dip and drive. Now, if this is particularly easy for you, feel free to dip a little lower. Driving that knee up. Big squeeze in that glute of your standing leg for balance. And that is time. Awesome. Next up, we're gonna do that side lunge shift that we did last week. So again, finding that width where you can maintain good form, okay? No wobble in between. We are thinking about leading with our hips. All right, hard push into the floor, almost like you're trying to push the floor away with your foot as you shift directions. 30 seconds here, go. You got it, keep it up. Squeeze with the bum to pull the hip to neutral as you shift in between sides. Awesome. All right, our next one, we're gonna do a little shuffling motion with our feet. So make sure there's nothing in your way. If you gotta move things out of the way, go ahead and do that now. And we're gonna think about shuffling in both directions. So I'll start by taking a step, bring my feet together, out to the side, okay? Depending on how much room you have, you might do 3 or 4 shuffles, all right? And we're just gonna do that side to side, all right? Keeping a quarter squat position the whole time. So in, out, in, and then shift in the other direction. Begin. 30 seconds. Stepping out to shift direction and push to the other side. Big push, making sure you're feeling equal distribution. Good. All right. And that is it for our warm up for today. Let's move on to our conditioners. All right. So moving on to our conditioning drills today, we are going to think about tightening up that core for a lot of the movements. Well, every single movement, but especially tying the core in with our lower body movements today. So we're gonna start off in a low or high plank, all right? And we're gonna think about moving our feet out away, apart from each other and then back in towards each other. You can do this level 1, okay, on the forearms. Level 2, up on the hands. And then in either one of those, if we're looking to add a little bit more, then you can pick a band, easy to medium resistance, and get it across. Doesn't really matter if it's above the knees or at the shins. For this one, I think I prefer it down around my calves. And then again, out, out, in. All right, let's do 10 of these today. Here we go. That's 1. Out, out, in, that's 2. 3. 4, making sure that core is on. 5. 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. All right, moving on here, we're going to do an alternating forward lunge, okay? So this is kind of a precursor to your walking lunges. We're just gonna step in and out. All right, so similar to your reverse lunges, we want that hip width distance in between the feet. Now, instead of stepping backwards, we're gonna step it forward and then control the lowering of that back knee so that the knee just hovers above the floor and we're not hitting our knee off the ground. So again, setting those shoulders up over your hips. Rib cage is tucked in. You've got an elastic band from rib cage to opposite hip and then a band across your hip. So everything's nice and tight here. gonna step it forward and then hard push to come back. All right, that'll count as 1 repetition and we're gonna do 10. Here we go. 1, hard push to come back. 2, feeling equal weight distribution across your foot. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. All right, moving on to the next conditioning drill. We're gonna do a fire hydrant. When we do fire hydrants, we want to think about keeping our shoulders, belly button, and hips all shooting lasers into the ground as we open up the leg and bring it in, okay? So there's no movement through the shoulders, torso, or hips. We're using the glute, as always, to open and close, all right? So again, this one you can do from a high plank. You can do this one also from a low plank. So you pick your poison. You wanna take some pressure off your wrist in your high plank. Just think about spreading your fingers wide and gripping the floor with those fingers, okay? Thinking about keeping a long spine so we're not too rounded in the upper back or low back. Again, bracing that core. I've got the shoulders set slightly over the wrists. Think about keeping a long neck, and we're gonna maintain that while we take a leg out and back in for 10 on each side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're gonna do the other side. Here we go. Again, keeping that core braced, long spine, long neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Amazing. And then finally, from a high or low plank, you choose your level. We're gonna pulse our leg up. All right, so really targeting the glute maximus on this one. So coming up here, we're gonna do 10 pulses without dropping the hips, rounding our back, okay, curving our low back, and keep it all nice and tight. Here we go. Think about pushing your heel up to the sky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is it for your conditioning drills for today. Well done. Welcome to your week 2 circuit, day 1. So we're gonna be introducing some newer exercises or newer versions of some things that you've done before. So 8 repetitions to start today. We're going to start off today's circuit with a squat jump. Now, if you are not feeling it in the knees, no jumping for you today, no problem. You're just gonna do a regular air squat instead, okay? So doing 8 of these, let's talk about the technique one more time. So when we're doing a squat jump, it's a rapid energy transfer and extension through our hips and knees, okay? So I'm coming down, sitting my hips down and back, yeah, and then I'm doing a rapid extension, making sure that when I land, I'm absorbing the energy. So thinking about landing with the glutes tight, okay, and then thinking about rooting those feet into the floor, splitting the floor into 2 pieces. So you should feel like you're pulling apart, okay? And that's activating your side glute here, and that's gonna ensure those knees don't curl in towards each other. So I'll show you a couple, what they look like, one after the other. So again, sitting hips and bum down and back with a braced core, and then explosive extension through the knees, hips, and ankles, landing with good absorption. If that's not an option for you today, then you are just going to sit those hips down and back, and hard push to rise. All right, here we go, starting with 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome. All right, moving on here, banded side steps. So for these ones, we are going to maintain a quarter squat position. I'm going for a medium resistance band to start today. We're going to bring it up just above the knees here. All right, maintaining that quarter squat. What we're going to do is step out, in, and then again, out, in. That's 1 repetition. So I'll show you what that looks like. Maintaining this squat, proud chest, core tight, out, in, back the other way. There's 1. Going for 8. Get yourself set up, and here we go. Out, in, maintain that squat. There's 1. And keeping the core tight. There's 2. There's 3. And 4. There's 5. And 6. 7. And 8. All right, next up, we are doing a single leg glute bridge, okay? So 1 foot off the floor, leg extended, same technique as your regular glute bridge, making sure you're squeezing the glute, initiating with that muscle to lift your hips off the floor. So I'm gonna start by extending one leg. All right, rooting my other foot into the ground. Big squeeze to lift. There's 1. 2. 3. Trying to keep those hips level. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And let's switch to the other leg. So extending, making sure you're initiating your glutes to lift. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Core staying on here. 6. 7. 8. Awesome. All right, and then moving on to the next one, we're gonna do a side lunge. So on this one, again, we're thinking about leading with the hips. Okay, so hips initiate the movement. Then you're gonna step out to the side with a small hinge forward. All right, so just like so. So I'm squatting down on this side, hard push to come back to center. We're doing 8 on each side, keeping that core tight. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Back to the beginning. So 8 squat jumps. Here we go. Get yourself set up in a nice strong position with your core turned on, chest proud, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, nicely done. Moving on here, banded side steps. So going for that resistance band. Remember, the goal is to maintain that squat position, keep those hips back. The legs should be activated the whole time, core staying braced. And out, in, out. And the other way, here's 1. And 2, squeezing it tight in here. There's 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Awesome. All right, moving on to your single leg glute bridge. Remember, you want those hips rising together, so make sure you're aware of that. You don't want one higher or rising faster than the other. Here we go. Core nice and tight. 1, squeeze the glute to initiate that lift. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's switch sides. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then last but not least, your side lunges, 8 on each side, leading with those hips to step out to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, last round here. Going for our squat jumps. Get yourself set up here with your butt down at 90 degrees, remembering for that rapid extension, okay? Landing nice and tight, absorbing the energy at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done. Moving on, banded side steps. Final round. Maintain that squat. Here we go. There's 1. And 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Onto your single leg glute bridge. You got this. Final round. Now we're doing some newer movements today. So let's try and just focus here on maintaining good technique over anything. All right, so reminder, initiate that lift by squeezing your glutes, core staying tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to move those hips and torso together. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's switch sides. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done. Back up on your feet for 8 side lunges. Remember, core is braced. Lead with the hips. Here we go. 1, hard push to come back to center. 2, 3, I'm squeezing my bum here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side, and go. 1, hard push. 2, 3, 4, big squeeze. 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done on completing your first circuit of week 2. Now we're on to the cool down portion of our workout. So it's time to allow our muscles to relax. We're going to let our nervous system help us do that by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Every time you breathe out, I want you to feel that muscle lengthening, feel that tension pulling apart, okay? So the first stretch we're gonna do is just a gentle reach for our toes. Start with your feet about shoulder width, anywhere between hip width, shoulder width apart. Everyone's gonna be a bit different. Find your comfort zone. Now, if you have any sort of issues with your knees, we're gonna keep a micro bend in the knee to protect the joint. And you have an option here as well. If you have your couch, you can just rest your arms. I'm gonna pretend that this is my couch right here. You can rest your arms on the couch or on a chair, a stool, whatever it is you have that will help you out. Or you can just reach straight down for your ankles and let your upper body just hang, okay? And be relaxed. We're gonna hold here for about 45 seconds. Having your arms up like so is just gonna be a bit easier on the back. All right, so find your happy place and let's get that timer started in 3, 2, 1. Just relax here. well done. All right, next up, we're gonna come up to standing. We're gonna shift our weight onto the back foot. All right, so small shift back, letting that hip come back as well. And then we're going to come onto the heel of that front leg and just gently shift forward. Again, feel free to use a chair, back of a couch, whatever you have at your disposal, a wall to help support you. And I just want you to feel a stretch all the way up the calf. And then, you know, depending on your body, you might feel it up into your hamstring as well. Okay, 45 seconds here. And go ahead. Let your upper body just rest. Switching legs. And let's start that timer. Well done. All right. We're going to use a wall, back of a couch, whatever you have to help support yourself, picking up the back of your, or I should say, the top of your foot, and stretching out that quad, same as we did in week 1, 45 seconds. Here we go. And then, of course, same as week 1, a towel or a band is an option. Well done. Let's switch it out to the other side, starting that timer in 3, 2, 1. Well done. And then 1. For our glutes, we're gonna come down to our bum. We did this one last week as well. So just pulling that leg across. One leg stays straight, keeping a long spine, and then you can twist a little bit to the other side, but really I want you to find that stretch and hold it there whenever you feel it in your glute, okay? Back stays long, long neck. Let's start that timer. Awesome. Let's switch it up to the other leg. And starting the timer. Now, if one side feels tighter than the other, something to be aware of, but nothing to be worried about. Something you can do on your own time is just give that one side a little bit of extra time to stretch if you did find one was tighter than the other. And well done, you did it. You finished day 1 of week 2. I hope you're feeling great. Get a good rest, eat some protein, and I'll see you in the next one.